Hi, and welcome to this video on word order in Norwegian. My name is Marianne, and today I will explain subjunctions. What are subjunctions? Subjunctions are small words that tie a subordinate clause to a main clause. If you want to learn more about subordinate clauses and main clauses, I can recommend watching my videos on these two topics. Here on this slide, you can see some of the most common subjunctions, but these are not the only ones. When it comes to indirect speech, the most common subjunctions are at and om. For logical relations, it's fordi, hvis, siden, selv om, and så. For chronological order, it's når, da, før, and mens that are most common. In relative clauses, it's som, der, and hvor, and also the question words can be used as subjunctions. There are two conjunctions used to express indirect speech, at and om. We use at when we give information, often after phrases like han sier, han forteller, han viser, or han vet. Han sier at han ikke liker regn, for example. We use om when we ask for information, often after phrases like jeg spør, jeg lurer på, jeg vet ikke, jeg spør om det er sant. The subjunction at may be omitted after verbs like å si, å vite, å tro, å synes, and å tenke. So we can also say, han sier han ikke liker regn. When it comes to logical relations, we have a few frequent or common subjunctions, like fordi, siden, hvis, selv om, så. Han er glad fordi det er fint vær. He is happy because it is nice weather. The subjunctions fordi and siden are synonyms, but siden is more formal and therefore not used as often. But han er glad siden det er fint vær means the same as han er glad fordi det er fint vær. We also have the subjunction hvis. Jeg skal gå på tur i morgen hvis det ikke regner. I'm going for a hike tomorrow if it's not raining. But the subjunction hvis can only be used in a conditional clause, and it means under the condition. Hvis can never be used in indirect speech to express whether or if. In that case, we need to use om. We have the subjunction selv om. Barna leker ute selv om det regner. The children are playing outside even though it is raining. Selv om meaning even though. And we also have the subjunction så. Jeg går hjem så jeg ikke blir våt. I go home so I won't get wet. Så can, in addition to being a subjunction, also be a conjunction or an adverb. And that is why we need to have the correct word order after så. Because it's the word order that decides what så means. You can read more on this on the webpage grammatik.com. Then we also have the subjunctions når, da, før, and mens, when we talk about chronological order. Han går på tur når han har tid. He goes for a hike when he has the time. Han gikk på tur da det regnet i går. He went for a hike when it was raining yesterday. Both når and da are translated to English with when. But da is used for an action that happened once in the past. Når is used for the present tense, the future, or for something that happened several times in the past. We also have the subjunctions før and mens. Vi må ta på oss regntøy før vi går ut. We have to wear rain clothing before we go out. Og jeg venter mens hun kler på seg. And wait while she gets dressed. When we start a relative clause, we use the subjunction som, der, or hvor. The word som can be translated into multiple meanings in English. It can mean who, which, that, or where. The thing is that the subjunction at can never introduce a relative clause, only indirect speech. So that one, at, always introduces a thought or a quote. But som is used to describe, for example, an object or a different kind of element a bit further. So her en man som heter Tom. Here is a man who is called Tom. Som heter Tom is giving a more detailed description of the object en man. Tom går på tur på et fjell som heter Gullfjellet. Tom goes for a hike on a mountain which is called Gullfjellet. Here, som heter Gullfjellet is describing the place adverbial a bit more detailed. Hvor? På et fjell. På et fjell som heter Gullfjellet. Som can be omitted when it does not function as the subject in the new relative clause, which is the example in the third and fourth and also fifth example. Her et par tursko som Tom bruker, or her et par tursko Tom bruker. Here are a pair of hiking boots that Tom is using. Still, som Tom bruker, the relative clause is describing et par tursko, but since we have a subject in the relative clause, Tom, we don't have to say som explicitly. Same counts for Gullfjellet et fjell som Tom liker godt, or Gullfjellet et fjell Tom liker godt. Gullfjellet is a mountain which Tom likes a lot, or that Tom likes a lot. Tom liker byen som han bor I. Tom likes the city in which he is living. But in this case, we can also use der or hvor. Tom liker byen der han bor. Tom likes the city where he lives. Tom liker byen hvor han bor. Tom likes the city where he lives. When we use der or hvor to start a relative clause, we don't use any preposition, which we do when we use som for the same sentence. As soon as we have a subordinate clause that expresses a question with a question word, it is this question word that we now use as a subjunction. There's no need for an extra and an extra would in fact be incorrect. Så jeg spør når vi skal gå på tur, jeg spør hva vi skal ta på oss, and so on and so on. Here are some online exercises that you can do on the webpage of Praktisk Norsk 2 in chapter 12. Resources used for this video are the book Byen Bergen and the webpage grammatikk.com.